The Slim Fast 14-day effect on your New Year's resolution. Day 1, the new year. You want to kick it off with a bang, and you're not just talking about fireworks. Day 14, you're ready to start this year right, looking great and preferably on top.
2 weeks is all it takes to get what you really want. Swap 2 meals a day for Slim Fast protein shakes or bars, get in a 30-minute workout, and stick to a 1,200-calorie diet to lose up to 6 pounds in your first 14 days. Find Slim Fast in a store near you.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dance Moms After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dance Moms After Show.
Floor, floor, floor.
I always like to do the echo.
That you almost topped Jason's on that. Seriously, Tony.
Well, Jason learned from me.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I'm just saying. What's up, everyone? We are here doing the recap of Dance Moms episode 1 from season 4, titled "Welcome Back. Now Don't Get Comfy." I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
Well, thank you, Tony. Stephanie McGrath, guys. Nice to see you all again.
Yes, we're back at it. And, of course, we will have Francisco and Anika from Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition joining us next week. So we will have a full cast of people next week for all the drama that entails in Dance Moms.
I don't know if we really need any more people. I think Abby creates, and all the mums in particular, creates enough drama as it is.
Yes, they do. So let's get right into it. First off, the first thing that I want to mention before we get into the pyramid is the brand new opening that Dance Moms has. Finally, they have updated their opening title sequence. I am very happy about that because the kids are a little older now.
They've grown up, yeah.
Right, they don't look the same as they did 4 seasons ago. So I'm very glad, Lifetime. Thank you for updating the opening title sequence. I'm going to give that little shout out to them. All right, so now let's go into the pyramid. Already, season 4, drama with the pyramid. So we start off with Chloe being at the bottom. Chloe and Peyton. And Chloe and Peyton are there because of the huge fight that happened between their moms
in New
last
Orleans.
season. Yeah.
Ooh, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was a little rumble in the Bronx. And Christy, well, now we don't have to say Christy with a C because we normally had to say Christy with a C and Christy with a K. But Christy, still funny with the fight. All she did was this. That's a way to end a fight. So, Stephanie, if you're ever in a fight, just do this.
And that just finishes it up.
And that's your way of fighting back.
All right.
That's it. So Chloe and Peyton were down at the bottom because of the moms. Then we had Nia for a second. And then Abby said, "I'll come back to you."
Which you all knew. She was thinking about it.
There was something a little fishy. And Nia's reaction was even like, okay. And Dr. Holly, did not understand why Nia was placed so low. Because to me, Nia is or has been the person that has always shown up for classes, wants to take extra. She wants to be a better dancer. Every season, they always say how Nia wants to do everything she can to be a better dancer.
She's willing to go 100% the mile. And that's what I think really Abby Well, Abby loves that. She wishes all of the dancers.
Yeah.
She has greater respect, even if they're not the best dancer. They don't have, as she'd say, amazing legs or great feet.
Right.
If they are willing to put in 100% effort. And we've got to give it to Nia. She always does. I mean, that's what Abby said all throughout summer.
Yeah.
She was there.
Yeah. And that's, if you want to, you know, exceed in dance, that's what you have to do. You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And Nia definitely has been putting in the work. Then we have Brooke. Then then we have Paige, and then Mackenzie, and then Kendall, and then comes the flip-flop where Abby goes, oh, this is what needs to happen. And she changes Nia and Kendall's position. Question for you. Did you feel it was appropriate to do the switch in front of the kids? Or did you feel like maybe Abby should have had it already in that order? Do you think the flip was appropriate in front of them? Because the moms had a little discussion about that. That it was a little inappropriate. I'm interested to know what your take is on it.
I'd agree that I think it was inappropriate. I mean, Abby knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And in true Abby's sense of fashion, she really wanted to make her point known why Kendall shouldn't be there. Not because it wasn't, as she explains later, it wasn't purely based on their performance, because Kendall did a fantastic job at Nationals. Yeah. It was based on the fact that she went away with her mother on holidays.
Right.
And she really wanted to address and make that point known. And so she did in Abby's fashion, which was in your face. Yeah.
And I agree. Kendall missed the required booty camp that they're all supposed to be at because she was on vacation. And so in Abby's eyes, she didn't do the work. Nia, who did the work and also danced at Nationals, contrary to what Jill was trying to say, has been doing the work. So I agree with Holly, though, that it shouldn't have been done in front of the kids. Yeah. I feel like it could have been in the proper order that she wanted it in.
And she could have explained when the order was presented. Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. It's the drama. It's the, she's switching them. I get that. But I feel like I agree with Holly that
it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. And I also agree with Holly that Jill definitely threw Nia
under the bus.
But that's Jill. Jill will always throw someone under the bus to get Kendall ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's typical Jill. I feel like Jill should have addressed it like Holly did, and been confused about it, but stick up for your child without throwing someone else under the bus.
Exactly. Yeah, taking the responsibility off your own child.
There was no need for that. There was no need for Jill to say, well, Nia didn't do this, and no.
But you know why Jill's doing it? Because she knows what she did.
Yeah.
It was inappropriate. Yeah. That her daughter should have been at the camp. That's why. She's feeling guilty. So she's like,
so you're trying to cover her tracks.
I'm going to, exactly.
Yeah. Divert. That's a diversion. You divert the attention over to someone else so that way you don't look like the guilty party. I've done that.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah. It's like, but it doesn't really work for me, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Tony? I think you'd always get away with it.
Well, I get away with some things. Steven, what are you laughing about?
Everybody knows he gets away with it.
I don't. I like to think that I get away with things, but sometimes it's written over my face.
All right. We'll just find out tomorrow on your birthday, hey?
That's right.
Gotta mention that. Sorry,
I'm glad that you slid that in, that tomorrow's my birthday. I'm very excited about that. I'm not gonna say how old I am. I'm gonna give my LA age, which is 25.
Yeah, he's turned 25 again. Yes. God, I love LA.
Right.
Time capsule.
Yes.
The whole time.
And so then after the switch, of course, it was revealed that Maddie is up at the top,
which was expected.
Well, of course. Would Maddie be anywhere else besides the top?
But it's fair. It's justified. I mean, there's no reason. She's the national champion.
She is.
Why would you put her anywhere else?
That's very true. And Maddie, just like Nia, she does the work. And oh my God, Maddie is a little grown woman dancer in a child's body.
Completely. I completely agree with that.
Just the way that she is about dance and how focused she is and her dedication
Her
to
technique and the way she can execute those moves are beyond what she should be doing at her age.
Exactly.
Well beyond.
I agree. And congratulations for the new photos, the new headshots that they have now. I tell you, season 4 has brought on some new stuff. Now, although I will say these photos look a little glamour shot is like 1990 glamour shot without the feather boas and big poofy hair.
Do you think they're a little bit too mature for these young girls? A little bit sexualized?
So. Well, not sexualized, but they look a little like Toddlers and Tiara makeup wise.
I'll give you that.
Because when they revealed Mackenzie's photo, I was like, who is that? And then they went over to Mackenzie and I was like, oh.
That doesn't look like you.
That does not look like Mackenzie. Congratulations on the new photos, but I'm not sure about how they look.
We like a change, but not that much. But I'll tell you what, though, Tony, one thing that I know those girls are definitely not using, but the older girls, perhaps doing the glamour shots, would be using perhaps Slim Fast.
Yes.
Now, the reason I mention this because our podcast today is brought by Slim Fast. And what the Slim Fast creators want everyone to know is that literally it only takes 14 days to get everything you need.
Yeah.
So it's your confidence is going to be anything higher than your confidence is going to be hemline. And I just thought I'd put that in about Slim Fast.
I love how you put that in about Slim Fast. I appreciate that. Thank you, Slim Fast, for providing us with this podcast.
Yes.
So moving on, Abby announces that she is having an open call for new talent because, as we all know, at the Abby Lee Dance Company, everyone's replaceable.
I don't think she could have said that line. That line was literally the entire episode's main theme was that everyone is replaceable.
You know what? I think we should live our lives that way. Whatever you do, you can be replaced. Some people get a little comfortable.
That's a bit harsh. No?
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like, imagine this. When you start a new job, right? You're very dedicated. You go by the rules. You do everything that you need to do to be successful in the company. Once you've been there a few years, you kind of know the ins and out. You know the things you can get away with and things like that. You slack a little bit, but you forget that you can be replaced.
Yep.
I've seen it happen. People who have been with companies for many, many years have been replaced because they got too comfortable. So you should live your life like that. I could be replaced tomorrow.
Yeah, you look like you're getting too comfortable. You know, you've got to be running this show a little bit on time.
If it were up to Steven, I would be having a seat outside of the studio. Right, Steven?
Slogans run. Tomorrow we have to replace you. It's that age.
There we go. Done perfectly. So her big thing that Abby, I think, was saying that, as you mentioned, that she's going to do the open calls. So she's going to do the open calls in Orlando, in Atlanta, and New York. And it was really girls. The fourth year they've competed every single weekend. And as you mentioned, everyone's getting too comfortable. We're not the winning team. She doesn't feel there's too many girls that are literally just going by and being able to get along. Or, in particular, bring up Brooke now, in Brooke's circumstances, is more interested in singing, is more interested in doing, her heart, I do not feel, I'm going to go out on the limb here, and say it's really with dancing anymore at all.
I would have to agree with you on that because even last season, I mean, there were times where the camera would go to Brooke and she would have that face like, I really don't care. Yeah. But then again, since we're talking about Brooke, let's cut to her performance with
Jana Kramer.
Now, had it been me, let's pretend like I was a part of this episode. I'm Brooke.
I could see you wearing her outfit.
And Beyonce came in town and said, you know, Tony, I want you to come sing your song on my stage. I would say, great, Beyonce. Thank you very much. Now, when I got on Beyonce's stage, I would be like turning it out like, Beyonce, this is my moment.
Yeah.
And Brooke kind of stood there like this was the school talent show. And she's looking to her mom to be like, smile, honey. Yes, you're doing good. It's like, and this isn't the first time Brooke has performed.
Mm-mm.
I mean, for that many people, yes. But this isn't the first time she's performed live. And I feel bad. AfterBuzzers, do not get on me.
They're
like,
going to,
like,
Twitter's just going right at the moment.
Like, she's a kid. Don't be too hard on her. But at the same time, we've seen kid performers and they like rock it.
They nail it.
Yeah. And I feel like she was given an opportunity, like Kelly said, that she was given a better opportunity. And this was it. And I feel like she didn't take it by the horn and like run with it. She kind of stood there kind of awkwardly and like she kind of sung her song, but like she didn't like take that stage so that we were like, yeah, Brooke. She was more
I'll give it to her at the start though, and she does say that she was nervous. You could see it, the body language. She gets up there, she's holding herself. When she even brings her hands up, you can see her hands shaking.
Yeah.
She was petrified. That girl was so scared.
But you know why? It's because she didn't do the work. See, it goes back to doing the work. Had she practiced performing, practiced like pretending like she was on stage, practice her songs and everything like that, when she gets on that stage, of course you're going to be naturally nervous. You know, just like me, I'm naturally nervous before we start the show. Yeah, it's just human nature. But then once you start doing it, you go right into it.
As long as you're prepared.
As long as you do the work.
It becomes automatic.
It goes back to what Abby says and what the theory that Abby does. It's teaching these girls that you have to do the work. You can't slack on what you're doing because then you lose it.
Yeah.
So Brooke hasn't gained her performance quality yet in singing because she hasn't done the work. If you want to be a singer, you got to command that stage.
Do you think Brooke, it seems like a bit of a common thread there? Whether it be her singing, whether it be her dancing, she's just not, it's not 100% for her. She'll put in a bit and she's got talent. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But talent's only going to get you so far, honey.
That's very true. That's very true. So, Brooke, put in the work. That's Tony's philosophy. Brought to you by the kind folks at the Abby Lee Dance Company.
There you go.
So we have our dance assignments. We have Maddie and Nia get a solo. Jill.
What's your opinion on that?
Maddie. Yeah, of course she's gonna get a solo. I was very happy that Nia got a solo.
Okay.
Because I think she did deserve it. I think she deserved to have a chance to show Abby what she's been doing. She's been preparing for this moment. So now is her opportunity to show it. So I think she deserved it. What I didn't like was that Jill was all upset because it wasn't Kendall. Well, Kendall's, should have had the solo. She's the one that came in second. She is the one that came in second. But that isn't something that you can hold on to the entire time that you're there. It's like, it's an accomplishment, great, but now you have to move on to bigger and better things. And moving on was being at Booty Boot Camp.
Which I think, as we talked about before, Abby's trying to make that point. What we just talked about with Brooke not doing it. Yeah. It's not just talent. Yes, Kendall does have the talent. She came second. Congratulations. Yep. But Abby's at the stage where if she wants to just really reinforce some of her true values, which is putting in the effort, working hard, Nia does it. Yeah. So she's going to be given the opportunity. I wouldn't say necessarily in her case that it was, we know it wasn't based on 100% performance. And so it was more, we're going to give you the opportunity to prove yourself. Yeah. And that's what it was. Have you, by doing all this extra effort, have you actually improved? I mean, it was Holly, her own mum there, which I'm so on the fence about Holly. She pushes, she vicariously lives so much through Nia. It's not funny.
I think it's the other moms. I think Holly.
More so.
I think Holly is the one that she's the most sane out of all of them, and she's the one that says that she's more the encouraging mom. She's kind of like, well, Nia, she's gonna fight for Nia when she needs to. Yeah. But she's going to encourage her to at least do her best.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never see Holly, get too upset about where Nia is on the pyramid.
Yeah, she's not going to be,
She's
trashed, getting in their faces,
she's
doing
not gonna
that.
Yeah. She's not going to be in Abby's face.
Mm-mm.
She picks her battles when it comes to Nia. And sometimes she understands, why things aren't happening. But she's not as pushy as the other moms are.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about Dr. Holly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start calling it this season
Dr. Holly.
Dr. Holly. But that's, I think that comes from her background of being a teacher and a principal, being in the school system and things like that. So I think that's why she's not so dance mommy, stage mommy, like the other moms are. Then we have the trio with Paige, Kendall, and Chloe, which I thought was that was a great pairing. Can I say pairing? Because pairing's usually tripling.
What we say, tripling.
Combination. That was a good group. Why don't we put a good combination.
Yeah,
there you go.
Combination.
So I was interested to see that, and then of course the group dance had everyone, and the group dance was called Girls Night Out. Mm-hmm. With a little twist, they were going to reenact the fight between Christy and Leslie, but now using Chloe and Peyton. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about that? Did you think that it was a good idea for Abby to use the kids to show just how ridiculous the moms were?
Again, I mean, Abby has when she wants to make a point, she certainly wants to, it's voiced loud and clear. Mm-hmm. And the mums were sitting there watching it. They knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. And that was good. They should learn. But I think, again, using, the girls, I don't think they 100% really caught on, luckily, what was going on, what they were really doing it for, as such. I just don't, it's between the mums. Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily use the girls as the way of trying to, get her message across to them.
It's that creative twist that Abby has. I think it's definitely a way to show the moms, like, you guys behave like children. Yeah. In order to show you that, I'm going to use children. So I think it was a cringe-worthy moment for the moms to be like, ugh, that moment that we behaved like not so lady, like, in public, and representing the
way of literally watching it in front of you and going, actually that was really, that was not I mean, they're not going to admit it, really say it, right? But yeah, they knew it.
Yeah. Question for you: do you feel that Abby shows favoritism towards Maddie?
Look, I say she does to a certain extent. I think anybody that's a standout talent like Maddie, you can't help but, I mean, she's always going to get it because she deservedly so gets to, or for instance, always get the solo. I mean, she's a brilliant dancer.
Did you think it was a good idea for Abby to present Maddie with the cake?
I think the cake in front of everyone, again, you only saw more of the mum's reaction, and it's gonna, ruffle some feathers with all the mum, which it did, and they didn't like that. But I think the girls at their age, for the most of them, they're kind of happy. They're fine with it.
Yeah. See, I feel like if you were gonna do a whole cake thing, I feel like it should have been for everyone, everyone going to nationals, placing first, second, however they place, but just doing a great job, and maybe encouraging them to do a better job for this upcoming season. But now let's think Abby like. Yeah. I'm going to point out Maddie because she's who you need to be like. Yeah. So she gets the cake. If you want the cake,
you got to be like Maddie.
You got to be like Maddie.
You got to put in the effort. You got to dance like that. Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's favoritism or more so like an example of like who you should aspire to be like. Mm-hmm. Like we all have those people that we look at and we go, I want to be like that. For most male hosts, we have we want to be like Ryan
Well, they're like
Seacrest
the role
or,
models.
they're
not just our idols. Exactly. You've got to learn from them at the same time.
Exactly.
And even the older girls, Paige, all of them, they could learn a lot from Maddie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, yeah, that's still debatable. So moving on to the dances, they are at Sheer Talent in West Virginia on that magical bus that takes them from Pittsburgh to wherever they need to go in just a few hours.
Boom, they're right there.
Boom.
Yep.
I want to get on that bus because the 20 minutes it takes me to get from North Hollywood to Hollywood are dreadful for me. If I was on the magical bus, I would get there in a minute.
It'd be perfect in LA.
Yeah.
I think everybody here, especially seeing the traffic here tonight.
If anyone had a magical bus in LA to avoid this traffic, they would make $1 million.
Oh, exactly.
Per person. I'm sure.
I think we've just created something here, Tony. Yeah.
LA traffic is horrible. It's horrible. Thankfully, I don't sit in it that much because there's a list of things that I don't have time for, and it's that.
I think a lot of people would like to say they don't have time for it, but they don't really have much of a choice.
Right, they don't have a choice.
Unless they had public transport. Don't even get me started on LA's public transport.
Boy. So with the dances, we first saw the trio. Mm-hmm. And I loved the trio. Yeah. I thought it was clean. I thought it was very energetic. I thought they moved and looked great together. Mm. And even for the short amount of time that they had, because just 24 hours prior,
they didn't rehearsed it once or twice, didn't they? Yeah.
The trio wasn't done. No. I thought Paige and Chloe bookending each other and then having Kendall in the center, I thought that looked perfect. Their costumes looked great. I just thought they worked well together. Kendall was a little off center at the end. I was going to say,
I thought Kendall was the other both Paige and Chloe, they're faster than Kendall. Mm-hmm. Kendall just didn't have, she wasn't up, I didn't think, the same pace.
I think this time she seemed like she was able to keep up, because sometimes when Kendall dances, she looks like she's giving, like she's out of breath. She's like kind of losing steam throughout the dance. But I felt like having Chloe and Paige, she kind of was able to keep up and hold her own just a little bit.
Okay.
So I thought the trio was good. Mm-hmm. I thought so. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Make sure you comment below on what you guys think or how you guys felt about the trio. I'm pretty sure you are anyway, but now I'm telling you to. So make sure you do.
Yes.
Then we had Maddie with her solo.
The emotional expression that girl gave was well beyond her age.
And even Melissa leaned over to Abby and was like, she's crying. And I was like, well, that's great emotion. But it's something about that face for me. It's always, and we always refer to it as like the Maddie like pain face. It's always like everything is very, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, I just gave the Maddie face.
He just looked like he's giving birth, if anybody's
but like Abby said last night when we had her, it looks great on stage, because when you're on stage you have to be big and theatrical, but when you have that camera zoom in, it just makes you look like,
take that camera away, zoom out. Yeah.
But Maddie, of course, as always, she's a strong dancer. Her turns look beautiful and effortless, and her dance flowed. Like there never seemed to be a time where one step wasn't disconnected from the other. No. It just,
and she holds her technique through the whole performance.
Yes.
She maintains. She is so strong.
Yeah.
That little body.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's always the little things come big patch. Never
Small.
mind.
Tony was onto that.
I almost got there.
Yeah.
I was driving the magical bus, but I took a magical wrong turn.
It just went down the other
and way. It just veered. Instead of going left, I went right. You always go left. But yeah, she's amazing. That little tiny thing is amazing.
And then what about the group performance? Really?
I thought the group performance had a lot of potential. I thought it was very sassy. I thought it was very It was great that it was up tempo. I thought the girls, embodied these, sassy, fun girls. I just thought it was messy and that it needed some cleaning. Their lines were the line that they did where they came up and they did the whole pop thing in a straight line. That line was not straight at all. It needed that, like that should have been the dress rehearsal. And go in there and clean some things up, make sure arms are straight, make sure lines are perfect, and then do it.
Yeah.
And I think what we saw was the dress rehearsal and not the final. And unfortunately, it ended up being the final.
Well, as Abby said, that was hot, but they were a hot mess.
They were a hot mess. The girls were hot, but they were a hot mess.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have, it had, and Brooke.
The theatrical performance that we did pre-performance?
No, the fact that she, in the group dance, she missed, she missed a step.
Yep.
And she does that. This isn't the first time we've seen Brooke miss a step. I think it was, I'm sure it was last season when they did Rosa Parks. She has a moment of, what am I doing?
Blank out. Oh.
Where am I? Oh, yeah, right. No, you can't do that. But again, if she was dedicated to the work, she wouldn't have missed that step.
Yeah.
If she wasn't 40 minutes late to rehearsal, she wouldn't have missed that step.
If her mind wasn't on singing, she wouldn't have missed that step.
But again, this is the second point that Abby can point out. But the first was when she was 40 minutes late and she made Peyton dance with her. Brooke and Peyton dance together.
Oh, the dance off.
Yeah, and she was so lost and confused. That 40 minutes that you were in there for rehearsal affects your performance. You have to go in there and be able to just do it. You can't, if you miss it, you're not going to be where you should be. And point proven. And then here we are in the group dance and she's having her WTF moment. Am I allowed to say WTF?
That's not swearing. It's,
Okay,
yeah,
thanks. I mean, I just want to make sure because I want to be a positive role model here at AfterBuzz TV.
Exactly. You always are, Tony.
Why, thank you.
Now, what's your opinion, though, on Peyton?
Oh, Peyton. Peyton has rubbed me the wrong way since last season when she was like, my name is Peyton. It's not Kendall. It's not Nia. It's not Maddie. It's Peyton. And when she did that, I was like, I'm done. and how Leslie is, I'm like, I'm done. Can deal without. But the fact that this 16-year-old girl was crying her eyes out, and Leslie tried to put it as if like, oh, well, here's Abby saying what she's looking for. Again, Abby reiterating like, you guys need to get it together because I'm having these open calls. This is real. You can be replaced. Yep. And then she lists that she's looking for a girl who's about,
what was it, a 12
years old, who is
short,
petite,
great legs, feet,
yeah. None of that, which described Peyton. So then Peyton feels like, and Leslie feels like, oh, now my spot is threatened. And then Leslie, addresses the moms like, oh, is anyone else nervous that their child is going to be replaced? And then Abby just comes in and is like, shut up. And I'm just like, whoa. But like, it's like, yeah, Leslie, you don't need to get anyone riled up or anything like that. Like, stop complaining. Stop like causing drama.
Because she's causing drama again because she knows it's true. I mean, as Abby said, she's the oldest. She's 16. She has more experience. Yeah. Doesn't make her a better dancer. She has more experience than the others. And boy, I thought that group performance was,
And also Peyton sticks out because she's so tall. Yeah. So is she right?
It looks awkward. It looks wrong. And I think her having the teary and everything as the eldest girl,
it's not a great example.
I mean, the younger girls, how are they supposed to exactly?
Yeah,
that's why Maddie is constantly shown as the shining light as much as we get annoyed by it, but it's true.
Exactly. So AfterBuzzers, let us know how you feel about Miss Peyton. Make sure you comment below. Let us know how you feel about Peyton. And then we had Nia solo. I will say this. Nia looks amazing. She looked amazing when she came out there. she came out with so much confidence and like, yes, here I am.
I'm wearing the yellow dress.
I am wearing the yellow dress. I am ready to show you what I have been working on. By the end of the performance, you wondered, what has she been doing? Because it didn't look like she upheld the technique that she needed to have for that dance. I felt like the moves were not as fluent as it should have been. It's like the dance felt very start and stop. Like, I did this move, I did this, and now I have to prep and go into, like, everything didn't seem smooth and effortless.
Yeah.
She definitely lost the technique. I felt like it got a little sloppy. But I will also say this. I felt like she was trying her best.
There's no doubt about it. I think she's always one of those girls, as we've seen. She'll always go that extra effort. She'll work her, her behind off and everything.
Yeah.
Trying to be the best dancer, but I don't think the girl has the natural talent to do it. And as Abby said, and it's true, the technique, she just didn't have the endurance capacity. Towards the end, that lost. The emotion was there. I think it was almost too much. She was just running on that.
I think there were moments where she lost her face and expressions, and it just wasn't there. I
was when they showed the close up and they did that quick shot to the judges, and you just saw that it looked like a disappointing
after her flip, and she didn't land it,
and they were like,
and the judge with the braids and the red coat, she was like, like, it's almost like the way they cut it made it seem like she completely tuned out. Yeah, like right then she was like, oh nope, done, like no. And those little microphones, like, your turn. I feel like that's so weird. Have you ever listened to those tapes?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's so weird when they're judging and like you just see them like, oh, those turns look great, those are wonderful. Yes. Oh no, I think next time you need. It just looks weird. It's weird. So then we have the awards.
Yep.
And the trio comes in first place.
What's your opinion? Do you think that was deservedly so? First place?
It's so weird because we don't get to see the other dances, so we don't have anything to compare it to. So we just assume that they did a great enough job to get first place. So,
but overall, you were commenting that the trio, you thought that
I
actually danced quite well together.
Yeah, I liked it. So first place, I wasn't surprised about that. Maddie gets first place, no brainer. Poor Nia.
Didn't even place.
She didn't place in the top 5, which makes me wonder where. And this was interesting that they didn't tell us where she placed, because normally you can tell where they're gonna place based on what number they start with. So when they started with 5th, I was like, okay. And then they did a little commentary, and then she just didn't place. I was like, oh my gosh, where did she place? Yeah. So obviously it was not in the top 5, but was she 6th? Was she 7th? Was she dead last? So it makes you wonder where she was. But I like the brief interaction where Holly felt so bad for her, and Nia was just like, shh, Mom, it's fine. It's okay. Like, I like that about, because I feel like Nia in the back of her head is thinking, it's fine, it's okay, I just need to work harder. Like she knows her mistakes, she knows her flaws, she just now needs to work harder, and she doesn't want her mom to feel bad or feel like,
don't take the pain that I'm experiencing from it. And that's why, I mean, maybe, no, you are very right. She's the calmer out of all the other mums that are on it, Dr. Holly. But there is that, when it comes across like that you kind of feel, Holly, you're getting so emotionally involved in what your daughter is feeling. But it's because also she's quite a strong girl. Yeah. In terms of emotionally, she'll just say, nope, that's okay. I'll get back and I'll keep working. Yeah. And you just kind of like, oh gosh, kid, there's going to be some point where Abby's going to be like, hard work just isn't going to get you there, though. Yeah, and I don't know. Do you
keep
agree?
Dancing, Nia?
Keep dancing by all means.
Because you just have to. If it's in your heart to do it, you just have to keep encouraging people. I actually, when I was very young, I used to dance around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt used to tell me to stop all that prancing. They called it prancing rather than dancing, because guys were not supposed to dance.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was a junior in high school that I rediscovered that I could dance.
Mm-hmm.
And by then I felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm older, you know, like I didn't know then where I should go as far as dance. So I was self-taught. I had Darren's Dance Groove, and I was learning Britney Spears' You Drive Me Crazy and NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. And I taught myself how to dance, but sometimes I wonder, you know, what could have happened or where I could have been maybe in the dance world.
Yeah.
Had I been encouraged to
Had you been given
explore,
that positive encouragement, exactly, and reinforcement to, hey, you know, go
do
for
it. It's fine. Yeah. So if it's in your heart to dance, dance.
There you go. Said by Tony, all those young aspiring dancers out there.
Tony's philosophy. And then the group dance got third place.
But as we said, it was a hot mess.
It was.
It wasn't actually a good performance.
They looked great. Costumes were great. They came out. It started off so well, and then it just was a little sloppy. So there's nothing that you can do about that. So Abby, not very happy. It is not the way that she wants to kick off this season by being, as she described it, 50%.
Yep.
50% is an F, and she does not do that. So for the first time, she announces where they're going next week. They are going to Ohio. Candy Apples and Kathy. Just when you thought you were going to get rid of Miss Kathy,
You thought she was gone. She's back.
she
Dun, dun.
is back. So we will have to tune in next week to find out what shenanigans are going to go down in Ohio. So I guess we can move on to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So we got some gossip yesterday with Abby. For those of you who have not checked out our interview with Miss Abby Lee Miller, please make sure you go to AfterBuzz TV and check that out. It was myself and Stephanie and special guest Jason Carter. We all sat down with Abby and just had a good old time.
Yeah.
And she revealed a couple of things. She has a book that's coming out.
Yes.
She has a dancewear line that is coming out. She also revealed very slowly throughout.
It took a lot to get anything out, didn't it?
It did.
It's like...
She revealed that there is another person that's going to venture into their musical talents.
Yes.
And they will go by the name of Mac Z. We'll let you figure out.
Put two and two
who
together,
that is.
guys. We didn't say it.
C. What letters am I missing from that? So that will be on the horizon, and as soon as that song breaks out, we will make sure that you have it right here at AfterBuzz TV.
In fact, we'll be jamming to it.
We will be jamming to it. Exactly. Let's move on to some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Whenever they do that, it makes me feel like I'm in a haunted house. And so I suddenly feel like...
It doesn't make you feel like the cops are behind you?
No. No. It makes me feel like there's going to be a ghost that's going to pop up. And suddenly I went from recap of Dance Moms to Scare Tactics. I hope that doesn't happen.
No.
Steven, okay. Steven was still blinking them. He is all about...
He loves this light.
He
love
does.
the color changes here.
So we saw a clip of what was coming up this season. Lot of stuff that's going to happen.
It looks like a Housewives almost.
Doesn't it? Especially that last clip. Now, from what I dissected, there's going to be a new member.
Yep.
And I believe she is a familiar face. I believe she was on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition season 2.
Yep.
Then it looks like Leslie may be leaving. And then the biggest blow up of them all, it looks like there's going to be a huge fight between Kelly and Abby. When it was like, get the kids out.
Punches
I was like,
being thrown.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
It's just when you thought Dance Moms could not be any more drama filled, they take it there.
Abby gets assaulted. Potentially, we don't know.
Yeah.
But it looks like that.
So, what are your predictions for this season of Dance Moms? We're gonna do season, and then next week we'll do episode by episode. But what do you think the predictions will be in this season of Dance Moms?
I certainly think there's going to be some shakers and movers coming in. I think one or two of the girls will leave. I think there is going to be some new dancers coming in. Potentially even one maybe that might rival Maddie's favoritism or come close with that. Although I will definitely say I think Maddie's just going to keep on improving.
Of course.
I think that girl is just going to keep on getting better and better. I don't see any foreseeable her, even stagnating, not even improving on that.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see who this other singer that we've talked about and how she works her own, then decides to go off, and what's Abby's reaction to that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen what's happened with her and what's her opinion on Brooke.
Yeah.
And also I'd be interested to see, I think Peyton, I think she's hit her time.
Yes, Peyton has.
I think it's just downhill from now on.
Peyton has definitely surpassed her time. I just like calling her Peyton.
Peyton.
Yeah, I like pronouncing it Peyton. I think this season of Dance Moms is going to be like no other.
Yeah.
I think we kind of got a few shakeups last season, but I think now they are definitely going to take it and really ruffle some feathers. But I think it's needed so that the girls don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think, and I feel like now just that with that end clip, I feel like the fighting, it's not going to be just verbal anymore. I feel like it's going to go there.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
This is built up, and finally it's just
going to overflow. So make sure you guys tune in. We will be here every Wednesday night. Well, today is Thursday, but we're normally here on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Stephanie, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes, guys, you can find me at stephaniemcgrath.com or my new Twitter account, which is at hostmcgrath.
Perfect. And you can always find me loungingwithtony.com or at loungingwithtony on all social media platforms. Thank you guys for tuning in to this Dance Moms recap on AfterBuzz TV, and we will see you next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. for another Dance Moms recap.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.